Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Do remember, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right here and select all to receive all notifications upon the videos that come out on this channel. Also, my backup channel is Tony Harvin Network if you'd like to do the same. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I greet everybody upon this evening. Hope everybody's doing well upon this day for sure. We're here to talk about a story. We're here to talk about a so-called pastor who was sentenced to death for the murders he committed. One being one of his mistresses and things like that he had killed. In other words, murdered. So y'all know my disclaimer. I'm not a pastor preacher. I don't hold any type of office in the church. Please, once again and again, do not lay claims on me upon being that. I'm just a YouTuber. That's it. I'm not here to violate any type of copyright infringement, any type of community guidelines. What's up to everybody in the chat room? This is a live. I wouldn't say a discussion, but whatever the case may be. But we're here talking about this and it's live right now. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat room, those who are checking us out, and those who want to check it out on the replay for sure. It's only broadcasting on one YouTube channel today, which is this YouTube channel, my primary YouTube channel, Tony Harvin. What's up to Georgina Flemings? What up to what is that? Tupac Shakur, Firestorm, Cheryl Gibbons, Claire, Tasha, Honey B, Brandy. So, Mr. Shakur, he says the court shouldn't have the power to sentence someone to death. I mean, hey, granted, biblically, you're right in these days, but everybody don't follow the scriptures at the end of the day. This story is coming out of Nigeria, of Africa. Those people overseas and things like that, they see things differently. Over there, they very much more stricter, with their laws, over there. Yes, you could be right in general, but even in the courts over here in America, they may say raise your right hand up and they have you to swear. Of course, you ain't supposed to do that unto the scriptures. And these people don't even follow the scriptures at the end of the day, people in the courtrooms. Yet they want to use a Bible to put your right hand on or put your right hand up or whatever the case may be. And these people don't even follow it because they got lying prosecutors, they got lying lawyers and stuff like that. Even a wicked judge at the end of the day. So you're absolutely right about that. So this story comes out of Nigeria. And we're gonna share the screen right quick so people could see the story, easy. So let me see who else is in the chat room. Georgina Fleming says one of the deadly sins, anger. What up, Tyrone Gills? What's up? Hope all is well. Willie Timpson. Yes. Excuse me. Yes, Willie Timpson, I got your email. I believe I responded back. I don't know if it went through or not. I responded back earlier at work. I seen a little small clip of I seen the small clip and I thought about talking about it today. I don't know if I'm going to give these fellas any type of attention anymore. I don't know, because it's a waste of time focusing on stooges over there at Straightway to Hell. You understand? That's all they are. You know what I'm saying? Stooges and imps over there. I saw the guy to the far right of my screen. It may have been left on their end. And he mentioned that I would not say that Mr. Duell's other so-called wives are whores. Obviously he don't know me at the end of the day. I mean, I was going to speak on it, you know what I'm saying? But I think these guys is really reaching. He's upset, he's mad or whatever that, he didn't get invited to a discussion. Now he's crying like a baby at the end of the day, So I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it or whatever the case may be. I try to focus on, stories like this to help warn the people. and things like that. But I know sometimes we get off course with, things like that with Mr. Duell or whatever the case may be. And it did sound like the guy was talking fighting words. I don't understand for a guy like that who probably never did a push-up a day in his life. You understand that? Could think he could take on a full-fledged athlete. I don't get it. I'm not being arrogant or anything like that. I don't condone violence or anything like that. I don't know why these fellas always trying to inflate a fighting match with me for some reason. I don't know. Why can't we go out and play basketball? Why can't we go out and play baseball or something like that? Cricket. I don't know why they want to become fighters now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let's go bowling. All right, listen. Tony Harvin don't want to fight nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to fight nobody physically. If you're not a professional, I don't want to fight you at the end of the day. I'm not gonna sit here and, get in the cage or the ring, because it wouldn't be fair for me to fight those old fellas, man. It wouldn't be fair. But some people just, they just won't quit it. They just don't know when to stop poking at the bear at the end of the day. They make it seem like we came on to them. But he's not explaining that he used to come on this channel years ago, commenting and whatnot. He just was on C-Rock page a couple of weeks ago, leaving comments, left a comment on his video. You understand? So he's poking at the bear a lot. But when somebody respond to him in such a way, he's want to play the victim. So I don't know if I'm going to respond to him in a video. All right, so back to the story at hand. He said, straight way to hell. So this so-called pastor out of Nigeria, right? I forgot we was going to share the screen right quick. I'm going to share the screen right fast and whatnot and things like that. If I can get it right here, So the screen is up right here. This is a so-called pastor. It says, pastor sentenced to death over murder of choir mistress. So he had a mistress. Man. This story comes out of Nigeria. It says, I'm gonna call him a so-called pastor. This so-called pastor by the name of, Chidiebere Okoroafor, I think that's his name, has been sentenced to die by hanging for alleged murder by a high court sitting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. This is out of Nigeria. They said he was an overseer of the Altar of Solution and Healing Assembly, based in Rivers State, was tried for killing his choir mistress, who he allegedly impregnated. So he killed his mistress, right? And she was pregnant. They said this so-called pastor also faced murder charges for killing of her friend and her 11-month-old daughter on the 11th of December in the year of 2017. The local government area of the state. The trial judge said the evidence of confessional statements from the so-called pastor showed that he committed the alleged crime. So he admitted to it. Now, this is a so-called pastor out of Nigeria. I believe we did a story about those other so-called preachers not too long ago. There's a lot of wickedness from these so-called pastors coming out of Africa. No point intended. No point intended at all towards those people in Africa. So I guess this woman right here is the alleged mistress that he impregnated and he had killed. So they sentenced to him. So over there is different. Listen, they're going to kill you by hanging. They're going to tie you up to a tree and have about 10 people with rifles to snipe you out. You understand? It's different over there. What up to Gin Juice? Brandy says, might sound crazy to ask this, but can the death sentence be a blessing, though? I seen a man get sentenced for killing someone's daughter And the father said some on the lines of, I forgive you, but I believe. I don't really understand what you're trying to say at Brandy. You know, you wrote that at about 6:45 p.m. I kind of don't understand it. You know, he says, but I believe in God and God is on his side, paraphrasing, but the man was put on death row, if I'm not mistaken. So what are you trying to say, Brandy? What are you trying to say? That, you know, he felt sorrowful. He felt so sorrowful that he turned his life around to God. Are you stating that? What up, Shadow Dancer? What up? What up? What up? I hope all is well with you, for sure. You know. Um. Willie Timpson says. He says, "Bunk them clowns. They will fight to hold on to Old Testament laws." Shaking my head. Yeah, man. Tasha says, the way they have all this evil killing today, maybe death penalty needs to be enforced. These gang bankers are not afraid of doing jail time. Mm. Wow. Jen Ju says Doodleman is pouting because he wasn't invited by Gino. Push-ups. I don't think he could even do a 20-minute warm-up run without passing out. I told myself, listen, we're going to try not to bring these fellas up. You know, I'm going to try. You understand? I'm trying to get back to the basics and covering these news stories and whatnot. But it'd be so funny, you know, that these fellas do not cover stories like this, which is more important. They so worried about a discussion at the end of the day, crying because somebody don't want to give them discussion when we got real life things going on out here. When you got so-called preachers molesting kids, touching on kids, and stuff like that. But they want to cry about a debate. They want to cry about Tony Harvin making a video calling the other three wives thoughts and whores. Yes. His other two or three so-called wives are whores and thoughts. Simple as that at the end of the day. So they could take it how they want it, you know? Get mad, get sad, or whatever the case may be. I don't care. You know? I really don't. All right. What up, Christoph Jones? What up? What up? Claire says a side chick on the choir. And that's a crazy situation when a man is a so-called preacher, right? A so-called preacher. Because as a preacher, you're dealing with people's souls, right? Some people put themselves in a position as a pastor. It's a difference. Some people are really not pastors at all. They just put a title on their name as a pastor, evangelist, prophet, apostle, bishop, elder. Of course, a bishop is an elder, and vice versa, right? But these people feel some type of entitlement. I'm going to call myself a pastor. I'm going to call myself a bishop. You understand? When they really not. So when you see a lot of these fellas on the internet calling themselves pastors, they really not. Listen, they just like me. Listen, sit down and learn some more stuff. A person could have knowledge in the scriptures. That don't mean they called to be a preacher. That don't mean that. But you got some overzealous people out there. Oh man, I got a following on YouTube. I got a following on TikTok and all this other stuff. Wow, I'm called to preach. I'm called to be a pastor. Why don't you just be humble, sit down and shut up and listen to the word of God by a real man of God. And there's a few of them out there. It doesn't hurt to just sit down and listen and learn at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So people like this so-called preacher who had a mistress and murdered her, right? And murdered the friend at that. And the 11-month-old baby at the end of the day. It's a crazy situation for sure. What up, son of David? Jenju says, Nigeria, say less. He looks like... man, you funny, man. You was funny. Claire says, that's why you shouldn't mess around with people before marriage and have affairs. Emotions run high and people get killed too, besides it being wrong. Wow, that's something deep right there. That's something real deep. You know, if you're married, right? There are a lot of married people out here, happy married. Well, they call themselves happy and whatnot. Granted that, listen, some people are separated, right? Some people are divorced. We know, people in holiness, they teach against divorce and things like that, or going to get another one. That's granted, understandable. But a lot of people don't follow the scriptures at all. You know what I'm saying? So they feel as though they can do what they want. You know what I mean? So even in a marriage, they happy, whatever the case may be, and then somebody in that marriage get tempted. Somebody at your job, you're around them 24/7. You know what I'm saying? A lot of your devoted time is at work, school, or wherever, in the gym. You know what I'm saying? And they get comfortable with somebody, or church, and things like that. Listen, people want their cake and eat it too. You understand that? So people think they could be in a marriage, have a family over here, right? Come home happy, joyful, make dinner. But then they got Susie Woo over here, tipping and dipping with at the end of the day. You understand that? And really playing with this person's feelings as if they're not married, as if they're single. You understand that? And in some cases, the woman, or vice versa, the man knows that this person is married and they have a family and a spouse back at home that they go home to and lay in the bed and whatnot every night at the end of the day. And they think, and the mistress think that person is going to leave that spouse that they going back home to every night. People actually believe that. If a person is in a marriage, and I ain't talking about no relationship, you understand that? We ain't talking about no boyfriend and girlfriend, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? When you in something serious, it's a commitment, it's marriage talked about, fiance, or whatever the case may be. All that little kid stuff, oh, would you go with me and stuff like that? We ain't talking about that. We're talking about serious business at the end of the day, a commitment. So when you were married and stuff like that, and this man has a mistress, he probably feeding her game. Listen, baby, you know I love you. You know what I'm saying? You're the only one for me. XYZ, you know how I go. A lot of us been there before. A lot of us was young and dumb and stupid. You understand that? Whereas though we was doing our due, we was young. We know the game. But it's different when you are a so-called preacher. You know what I mean? And you're dealing with people's souls and whatnot. Listen, that's something dangerous at the end of the day. I don't care how much of a following I have or what's to get in the future. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not a preacher, a pastor, if I ain't called to be that, I won't even touch it. That's why I say in my introductions, I'm not a pastor, preacher, or anything. Because you got these clowns on here who call me a prophet, a false prophet. What you calling a person who broadcasts videos or create his own content a false prophet? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I never called myself that ever. You understand that? So that's why I stay away from titles like that. It's very dangerous. I wouldn't play with it at the end of the day. PhD. He says, greetings, family watching the car on my way to my birthday dinner. Your sister is 37. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. You understand that? May you have a wonderful day today. Son of the day says, a lot of witchcraft. Absolutely. Witchcraft. That's very important. A lot of them people over there in Africa, no pun intended, Africa, they use witchcraft, voodoo, and all that other nonsense as they do in New Orleans, Haiti, New York, some of the top places that witchcraft is still going on. And a lot of people fall for the okie doke. You understand that? Sweet words. Sweet words. All right. You said this guy is just a murderer, and the 11th month-year-old might have been his too. Wow. You said rest in heaven. Rest in heaven. I don't know about that. Listen, I don't know about that. I don't know. He said rest in heaven. That's funny. Brandon says, no, the father forgave the killer. I was asking if it can be a blessing. I ran out of space. Sorry for the confusion. Oh, you said the father forgave the killer. That's something deep right there. And I know people in holiness or people striving for God, having a forgiving heart is a must in any type of situation. You know what I'm saying? That's real tough. You know what I'm saying? If somebody murder your loved one, somebody murder your mother, your kid, and stuff like that, could you forgive that person? That'd be a good topic right there. That'd be a good topic for a conversation type of thing. It's all good. Jen, what up, Alan? What up, Arthur Lawrence? What up? You said the killer got sentenced to death row now. Wow. Willie Tempter says one wife is bossy enough and these fools want 3 or 4. You're right. Listen, no point intending against women out there. Of course, a lot of times y'all could be headache, naggy, talkative, and whatnot, clingy. Let's just keep it real. You understand that? Let's just keep it real. But for a man who wants 3 or 4 wives and things like that, at Willie Tempson, I don't get it. You understand? Like I told him, his first wife is stupid. You understand? They've been married for 40 years, and you're gonna sit there and let the man have a baby with a young chick right in front of your face? You ain't listen. She ain't no strong black sister. At the end of the day, weak-minded. You understand? Weak. You know what I'm saying? Very weak. And to the fat man to the right who said I won't say it to his face, oh, I will. You understand? I will. You only saying that because we're in 2 different states, and I don't know where you're at, and I'm not going to look for you. At the end of the day, that's not my MO. I'm not going to sit here and look for somebody on YouTube for what? I could devote my time to something more valuable. You understand? You know what I mean? So I don't really pay those clowns no mind. What up, Nicole Martin? Hope all is well. Willie Simpson said the only problem I see is wrong with the death penalty is that it's not used enough. People have learned that if they commit a crime worthy of the death penalty, they probably will die in prison. What up, good? I think he says heard this gifts. He says gifts and character both are from God. Both are useful in God's kingdom, but character will take you further than giftings. But when you work both, you become perfect like Daniel. Okay. Tasha says some of them know they're married and don't care. You're right. Georgina Fleming says several years back, a pastor killed his pregnant wife. Wow. Listen, it's serious out here. It's serious out here. Listen, if you can't handle the heat, listen, you got to get out the kitchen. For sure. Killed his pregnant wife. That's crazy right there. It's real crazy. Jen Ju says, forgiving the killer. Interesting. Shirley says, how someone going to tell a woman that dated a married man to rest in heaven? She died in her sins. She won't see heaven. That's deep right there. Very, very deep. For sure. I was kind of like, when that person said that, rest in heaven. And a lot of people say rest in heaven to people who have died. Listen, the person's going to be meaner than the devil. And people be like, oh, he or she was a good person. They went to church, they prayed. But on their Facebook page, they got, MF this and MF that. Throwing up gang signs and Hennessy bottles and a blunt in their mouth and things like that. Listen, some people say, oh, you ain't supposed to judge or whatever the case may be. But if somebody's going contrary to the word, now granted that some people could get saved the day before. Slim to none chance. You understand? Can it happen? Yes. Any type of time in the world, a person have time to get saved and whatnot. But some people just die off instantly. Whereas though they don't have no time at all. A bullet can hit them in the head and that's it. Some people just drop dead. And they got no more time in the world. They had 40, 50 years. We're talking about the people who have heard the word, who didn't take heed and things like that, who didn't want to get right. And some people have dropped dead quick. Fleming says, he says lots of religious leaders committed and being convicted of crimes. That's true. That's true. A lot of them. I mean, we expose a whole lot of them, whether on this channel or the other channel, a lot of them, because they think they could get away with certain things because they're in some type of leadership, and that people feel so vulnerable to allow either their kids around them or get too comfortable around them. All these so-called preachers could sweet talk them. Just like Willie Timpson, when you brought up Mr. Charles Duell. You know what I'm saying? He hypnotized his own wife to allow a couple of more chicks to come into the household. While he knocking those 2 or 3 women out, the wife in the room, stuck on stupid. I mean, you can hear these people getting it on. You can hear this so-called preacher, right, getting it on in the next room, and you the spouse, and you okay with it? Yeah, all right. You ain't no strong sister. Listen, come out of slavery, sister. To his first wife, come out of slavery. Simple as that. You know, I'm not into racism or nothing like that, but listen, come out of slavery. You know what I mean? Come out. For sure. What up, Craig Giselle? What up? He said, lowriders be losing their minds over Tony, but always the first ones on his channel. That is some clown moves. Well, listen. This is for the trolls and this is for the haters right here. You know what I'm saying? This is for the trolls and this is for the haters right here. You know? I dedicate this to all of them. You understand? That's what I dedicate to them. All right? He says hypnotizing wife. What up, fondly aware of you? What up, JC1? What up, Craig Giselle? What up? Fleming says there was a pastor that slept with the dead for potential power. Sleeping with a corpse. Having sex with a corpse, with a dead body. And we spoke about yesterday about somebody brought up a female robot prostitute. I mean, these people are just sick. They want to hump on metal. They want to hump on a dead corpse. You understand? But people been started this stuff kind of, right? With all these sex toys and whatnot. Listen, what's wrong with a human being and spouse? In general. You understand? I believe Gino stated that it's a wrong way to do wrong and it's a right way to do wrong. They both wrong, but it's a right way to do wrong. You know? Listen, people want to hump on robots. They want to hump on dead bodies. What type of mindset a person get? What type of arousement a person get besides a sick person off a dead corpse? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And I'm pretty sure it has happened many times, especially those who work in that type of field. It's crazy. Good, I think, says that's why pastors also need accountability. They need a church council and better a pastor to keep them accountable. Some of these pastors become their own authority with no accountability. Wow. Wow. You're laughing. Linda, you says people hide marriage. Well, they learn to live a double life as if it's nothing. Some folks get caught up in someone else's lust and infidelity. You're right. Listen, I'm gonna say this. You know, marriage, from what one bishop taught. You know, and he taught marriage pretty good. Very interesting. It's something serious, man. it's something serious. But when a person is a so-called preacher, that's crazy. Craig says, man, the way that's worded, wife sitting there, then multiple wives, haha. Wow, is that what women could put up with that? What woman could put up with that? I don't know. Besides Mr. Duell's first wife. I don't get it. Wake up, sister. Wake up. Wake up. I know it'd be burning you on the inside. Somebody told me that she didn't want it, the information of the 2 or 3 other women that's in their household. She didn't want that information revealed. Well, guess what? It's out now. Polygamy. A so-called preacher, right? And he's right along with this so-called preacher who was locked up. You understand? For murder. I'm not saying in the sense of that he's a physical murderer and things like that, but he could be a spiritual murderer. A so-called preacher can kill your spirit with what? Lies, contradiction of the scriptures, and things like that. I'm not a preacher. We're just talking. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're just having a conversation. This ain't no sermon. You know what I mean? But I don't get it. Listen, this so-called preacher who got the death penalty for impregnating, his mistress. The only thing that Mr. Duell is doing, he's dressing it up. It's no difference. It's just that the man, this preacher, this so-called preacher who was arrested, he was trying to hide it. Mr. Charles Duell, he talked to his wife, listen, baby, you know what I'm saying? In this Hebrew Israelite culture or organization, religion, belief, we could have other people in our household, spouses and whatnot. He's doing the same thing. He impregnated that young chick. She just as dumb as a fly on the wall herself. Stupid. You understand? Stupid. Good, I think says a good one was interview of Eddie Long's accusers. Men, they were enticed and even called him daddy. But it was also the wealth and perks that got them too. I think I remember seeing an interview with those 3 of them, I think. Of course, they was fascinated about the money and the perks that Eddie Long was giving them. I don't get Eddie Long at all. Listen, you are a popular so-called preacher, and he may have preached the truth in the beginning, and a lot of them start off strong and good in the beginning, but once they start getting a little bit of clout, they start getting a little bit of popularity, now things go haywire. You know what I'm saying? He want to touch on these boys and keep them quiet. Now, he probably hit off some of the parents with some cash too. You understand? Money to bribe these young fellas. And this is a grown man who called himself a preacher, who was sleeping with little boys in the church, bribing them with money and whatnot. Listen, what's wrong with you? I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. He may have had a beautiful wife at home. What's wrong with a woman? Listen, what's wrong with a nice, soft-skinned, smelling good, nice, full lips, or small lips, whatever, woman? Why these so-called preachers got to result into touching on little boys or touching on little kids in general? Why they got to do that? And a lot of them are doing it still to this day. As we cover these stories, almost every week, if not every month, there's always a so-called preacher being arrested or accused of molesting a child. The majority of them are boys. I don't get it. What type of fascination or enticement a grown man got for a little boy? Listen, like Gino stated that, listen, it's a right way to do wrong. Listen, it might be a nice Coke bottle shaped woman right there. Smelling good, looking good. Listen, where's my mint spray at? You understand? But no, they want to go and try to touch on a little 5-year-old boy or a 10-year-old boy. I don't get these people out here, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't, man. I really don't. You said, was he trying to raise out of the dead? Fleming says convicted murderers have also become pastors. Yeah. Gibbons says white lady slept with a corpse, claimed she got pregnant and sued the family of the corpse. Wow. See, I haven't heard that story. I really haven't. You know, a woman got pregnant by a dead corpse. Is it possible? That's something to think about. Let me look that up right quick. Woman gets pregnant by a dead corpse. We're going to look that up right now, right quick. Wow. Wow. You might be telling the truth on that one. Let's just see. Okay. Wow. This is crazy. You're right about that. You're right. And she did have a baby. She did have a baby. You know, I'm gonna try to share. I'm gonna try to share the screen right quick. We're gonna share the screen. So we highlighted it. Jennifer Barrows, assistant pathologist with the Jackson County Medical Examiner Services, is accused of having sex with dozens of corpses over the course of the last 2 years, of behavior which led to the birth of a baby boy on January the 7th. So there was a Caucasian woman who was getting it on with dead corpse. A dead corpse. And a baby came out of it. How sick is that? How sick is it? I don't get it, man. Wow. Listen, I don't get it, man. They said when you read a little lower, they allege that she sexually abused more than 60 other dead corpses. Wow. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. What up, Cynthia Davenport? Craig says, Mr. Well, attention wearing off, sparks up Gino's name to get more fuel. Yep. You said what's crazy is a lot of these pedophiles are married with lots of marriage years, and it's not the wife that catches them, but the cops. It's crazy. Yeah. And a lot of the times, the wife know, some of the people in the congregation know, and they try to sweep it underneath the rug. You understand? They all should be held accountable, especially the wife. If the wife know, the man got to stoop that low. These so-called preachers, they got to stoop that low that they got to touch on little boys and sexually abuse them. You understand? Listen, you got a whole wife at home. A whole wife. You understand? Like I said earlier, nice skin. You understand? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Request said, I don't like calling men like these pastors. Gibbons says, yeah, before a person get married, they need to understand it because it's a serious thing. It's not just between you and your spouse, but God also. Absolutely. But I think says polygamy doesn't work. Look at Jacob, 2 wives, but the but the infighting, and it went down to the kids with them ganging up on Joseph, who was their half brother. Sarah had to chase Abraham's other wife. Jinju says, you saw how God dealt with Eddie Long. I wouldn't want that kind of smoke. JC1 says, Eddie Long was a hypocrite. He was preaching hard against that lifestyle while he was living it behind closed doors. Fleming stated that there are also murder for hire schemes by pastors too. The heart of a man is desperately wicked. Willie Timpson says, I doubt very seriously with the egos these men have any tenacity that they hold true to the Old Testament. I wanted to bet they all sleep in the same bed or room. There's some guy on YouTube named Pete Rambo that believes in polygamy as well, William Shepard stated. Wow. What up, Emmett Spears says, Eddie Long was a devilish raven wolf in sheep clothing. Cheap sheep clothing. Craig says 100,000 kids go missing in the U.S. each year. Main news never covers it. Craig says, who is Eddie Long? Should I even look the name up or no? It's not worth it. Nicole Moore said, that's why I'm more protective of my son, and I stay to myself because of crazy people like that. It's just me and him. He says, what is this world coming to? What up, Karen? Hope all is well. Falconer says, brother, I'm trying to discover who, I don't know what you're talking about, Falconer. I really don't. Linda said, these stories are crazy and people are nuts out here. The scriptures speak of the heart being deceitfully and desperately wicked. Karen says, maybe they should start doing a background check. It's a job. That's a good point right there. A background check. Or one of them, what is that called? A polygraph check also. Polygraph test. Psychological test. You understand? I definitely agree with a background check. You know? Especially with the scriptures. But a lot of these people in these organizations, a person could easily sway them. You can know a couple of scriptures. Listen, they quoting John 3:16. For God so loved the world. They quoting Matthew chapter 6, verse 9 to 13 in prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. They quoting all these scriptures. Well, a man robbed God, yet he had robbed thee. They quoting all these scriptures. You understand? All of them. All of them. It's crazy. It's a crazy situation out here. Crazy. Jen Ju says, imagine a whole man losing sleep and obsessing over me because oh man, you funny, man. You be writing some funny stuff, man. Sometimes I can't read it, man. You know what I'm saying? These guidelines out here. Karen says, our scripture should be asking them for a background check. Didn't get no money. I agree. A background check. Because you just never know. You just never know. A person could be registered as a child sex offender. Could people change? Yes. People can change. I agree. But there are people who try to get in those type of positions so they can fulfill their wicked fantasies on kids and people of the congregation at that. Nicole Moss says, which Eddie Long everybody is talking about in the chat room, brother? Eddie Long was a so-called preacher, so-called bishop. He passed away. He was accused of, touching on these little young boys and whatnot, but swaying them with money and whatnot to keep them at bay from taking it to like the law and whatnot. So he bribed them with money. They have interviews all over the internet and whatnot and things like that. So you would have to research that yourself upon Eddie Long and things of that nature. Falconer says, brother, I am trying to discover who the son of perdition is and what perdition truly is. I don't know what you're talking about. That's the first time I even heard a term like that, son of perdition. What is that? Listen, I don't know what that is. G. Swole says, do you believe women are scared of a man that follows the scripture? Well, it depends what type of woman you're talking about. I wouldn't say scared at the end of the day, but men, we're talking about real men who try to follow the scriptures or who are following the scriptures and whatnot, and who hold fast trying to, get their souls right. A real woman would love that. You understand? A real woman would love a man who follow the scriptures. Instead, a lot of these women, they want the man on the corner with their pants hanging down. Nice Rolex, diamond earring, nice watch, chain on, talking crazy and whatnot. Listen, you quote, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. I will follow which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You quote that, right? Talking to them. Man, they turn away. They turn away. Listen, but you sing a rap song? Listen, you sing a rap song? You sing DMX? Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You quote that to them? Oh, they love you. You sing a little dirt to them? They gonna love you. You dress nice. You look nice. You smell good. Nice suit on. They don't want you. They don't really want a man that's trying to do right with his life. They don't want respectful words. They want you to call them the B word, a whore. Come here, SLUT. Get over here. You my B. But if you say, listen, you're a beautiful woman, you look classy, you're respectful, they don't want that. Nah, but you start talking about the Bible in the sense of not forcing it on them, right? But just in a conversational way. Listen, a lot of them don't find you interested at all. You understand that? But listen, turn on Fabio Foreign, turn on Pop Smoke. Turn that stuff on and start singing the lyrics and singing the chorus to them. Oh yeah, they love you. Listen, they'll love you. You understand? But it's very few good women out here who really love those type of men who really trying to get themselves right, man. There's very few out here. Very, very few. You understand? Very, very few. Because that's what I remember when I was young. I was into the music and whatnot as a DJ and whatnot when I was young. I mean, the ladies was like on me. I'm talking about they was hitting me up. But once I started to get right, cut my hair off, no more braids, no more chain, no more nice watches and whatnot. Oh, that stuff took a decline. It took a decline when you're trying to get yourself right. I'm speaking from experience. Not that I care about the attention of women, but it helped me learn something. A lot of people don't want to see you do right. A lot of people don't find that interesting. You understand? All right. What up, Pamela Jackson? What up? What up, Allison Hurd? He says Eddie Long is from Atlanta. Craig says Pat Robertson also died. He was a Freemason today. Wow. Ethan, what up? He said there is nothing I hate more when people use the Bible to justify their dirty deeds. That's true. That's true. Listen, if something is wrong, listen, I'm just gonna say it's wrong. I respect the scriptures. I don't do everything right, but it's a work in progress to get right. I'm not going to sit here and, you know what I mean, hypothetically speaking. We speaking hypothetical. Now, a lot of people smoke weed. I never smoked weed a day in my life, ever. Never did no type of drug ever off the streets. But you got a lot of people out here who smoke weed or whatever the case may be, and they try to justify it. Listen, well, God made this stuff in X, Y, Z, and then quote a scripture. Listen, if it's wrong, it's wrong. Simple as that. If something is wrong according to the scriptures, it's wrong. I respect it. You understand? But I'm not going to talk about it as if I'm trying to use the scriptures to cover up any type of dirty deeds. Because if I do something wrong, listen, I'm going to say it's wrong. Listen, it's against the scriptures. I committed something, a sinful act or sinful acts that I'm trying to work on at the end of the day. I'm not going to sit here and cover something up at all based upon the scriptures. You know, I know for a fact that I'm not perfect. I could come on here and tell people what I used to do or what I'm struggling with. So I could do that. A lot of these other so-called preachers, they can't do that. As you see, Mr. Charles Duell, he's trying to cover up what he's doing with those women, with scriptures. Nah, what you're doing is wrong. Simple as that. And when you try to cover up things with the scriptures, you're just putting more and more blood on your hands at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Image Spirit says, take it from an ex-military police. Polygraphs are not very reliable at getting the truth. Psychological evaluations are. Got you. Harriet says, I met a God-fearing man at work. He worked in a different department. This man lied about his job title. He was asking if I'm interested in polygamy. I dropped straight away. Listen, that's the new wave in these days. That seemed to be the new waves in these days. Polygamy. I don't know why people are so fascinated about polygamy. Listen, if one woman is a headache, no point intended. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't get it, man. Some people are just not satisfied with just having one spouse. Just one. People not satisfied. It's just not. G Swole says, why does it seem like women are more comfortable with a bad boy instead of a man that's trying to do good? When I had a woman tell me she's scared of me, but she's with a bad boy. Listen, I don't know, man. But that's what they prefer. They just like the thrill and the thought of a man standing on the corner, you know what I'm saying, with his pants hanging down. How can a man protect you with his pants hanging down? How can a man protect his woman with tight pants on and his pants half off his, you know what? How? How you gonna do it? You don't understand? I don't get it, man. I don't get it at all. Each participant are a representation of themselves, and it's vice versa with men also. When they want to go for these Instagram models, these OnlyFans actresses and whatnot. You understand? They see the Coke bottle shape and things like that, but some of it, of course, is photoshopped, video shopped, and whatnot. But they see that type of stuff, and that's what they want. Versus a modest woman. Versus a woman who's trying to get right, who believes in God, who works, who has a good profession, who's sweet, kind, who doesn't exploit herself all over the internet for a lot of men to see her. You understand? I'm in Walmart the other day. I was buying my daughter some Cocoa Melon tire, whatever. And this one woman walked down the aisle. I said, okay, she has a nice body. But I'm started thinking what I was talking about on our conversations. I'm like, whoever she with or whoever decides to try to talk to her, they got to remember, she's a representation of that man. Would you want a woman dressed like that Of course, she had a nice shape. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. But at the end of the day, you got to think about it. She don't even respect herself dressing the way she is. So how's she gonna respect any man at the end of the day? And it's vice versa with that man who's got his pants hanging down, the bad boy who's taking penitentiary chances and whatnot. I don't get it, man. I really don't. Now, when I was younger, of course, I would have fell for that. If I was 19, 20, listen, I'd have, you know what I'm saying? Make sure my breath was smelling good. Make sure, clean a little coal out my eye. All right? I don't see nobody with her or nothing. We're going to make our move. You understand? But now I know better. I know better in general. It ain't even worth the thought at the end of the day. You understand? My mind is totally different from when I was young. Very, very different. I don't fall for the okie doke at the end of the day. You understand? About like appearance and whatnot, because it's not about that. You understand? Like somebody mentioned earlier, I think it was you, G Swole, about somebody who's in God and whatnot. What would you prefer? Somebody who's striving for God and whatnot, who's really striving for God, right? Or some type of Instagram model who just looks good with a nice body. You understand? All right. Gin Juice. he said DMX, he going too. You funny, man. You funny. Linda says, a man who follows the scriptures is incredible. I wish I knew better. Mark Yupin says, Gino is right about the Antichrist not being an individual. Antichrist is a spirit. Wow. What up? What's that? C. Linda. What up? G Swole says, I can relate on that. When I thought the same thing, once I cut my braids off, stop rapping and getting baptized the right way by TOG, women don't mess with me like that. Wow. Yeah. John Smith says the body is to be a house of prayers. Prayers are incense to God. Filling the temple with smoke is filling it with the wrong incense. Got you. What up, Ernest Beard? Spirit says, let God Almighty be true and every man a liar. Gibbons says, soon the world should be in jail because polygamy is illegal in the U.S. Well, the thing is, he's only legally married to his first wife. He's not going to marry the other 2 or 3 women in the household or the ones he's dealing with. He's not going to legally marry them. He's going to use the scriptures that, according to the scriptures that he's married to the 2 or 3 he's with. So legally, he's going to keep on paper his first wife, because if he ever was to try to go to court and marry those other 2, yes, they would lock him up. They would lock him up. What up to Nicole Levels? What up? Genju says, Gino even said not to tell people what you used to do because they can use that against you. That's a good quote. That'd be a good quote I can use for a YouTube short, because that's true. That's very true. That people try to use your past against you as if it's current. You done changed. Some people done stopped doing cocaine. They done stopped stripping, prostituting, and whatnot. I believe it was a story one time. It was his woman. I believe she was a prostitute. And she was on a date with somebody. She done changed and everything. And some man came up to them and thought she was still prostituting at the end of the day. That's crazy. You done changed. You smoking weed every day, all day, it's gone. You using profanity every day, all day, it's gone. You understand? You sleeping with different people every day with no protection, it's gone. Everything is gone. But people will still use those things against you as if it's current. And you said, so I'm going to keep my secrets. Only God knows. If you used to be a what is that? A sickly or a stripper, keep it to yourself. What up, C Mac? He says, perdition, a state of eternal punishment and damnation into which a sinful or unpenitent person passes after death. Gotcha. What up, Otis Bryant? What up, what up, what up? Shirley says, my husband stepped outside this marriage and cheated. I'm filing. You said, my husband stepped outside of this marriage and cheated. I'm filing for my divorce papers ASAP. Okay, I got you. Karen stated that, yep, my mom always said that the more they have to throw it up in your face. G Swole says, I think that's why I got more respect for Malcolm X than Martin Luther King. When Malcolm had no problem confessing his faults, but Martin kept maintaining his perfect image, but no man's perfect. Well, I heard Martin Luther King, he was doing this thing behind his wife's back, right? If I'm not mistaken. That's what I heard from some people and whatnot. And Martin Luther King also called himself a preacher, right? At the end of the day, you know, so a lot of people, you know, will put the title pastor upon their name. For what reason? You know, for what reason? If a person is not called, if a person is not sent the right way according to the scriptures, listen, just sit down, man. A lot of people are fascinated with being called pastor, deacon. I'm a minister. I'm an apostle and things like that. Mark Upin says, any entity person that denies Jesus Christ is Lord is an antichrist. Wow. So I appreciate everybody for, you know, coming on this live. If anybody got any last remarks to the story that we covered today on this live, leave it in the chat room. And do remember, if you are a new subscriber, if you're a new person to this channel, if you like, you can subscribe. Hit the subscribe button if you like. I don't beg for subscribers. Hit that notification bell for sure. And do remember to visit Tony Harvin TV YouTube channel. Broadcasting nothing but the truth of God messages and whatnot. Also, Tony Harvin Network, you know, dailymotions.com, another video sharing platform. Rumble.com, another video sharing platform. My Facebook, Tony Fasthands Harvin. That's my Instagram. And my new TikTok, what you call that, channel profile, whatever. You know, check me out if you like. If you like. All right, let me read some of these last comments, and then we're going to conclude. Ralph McNair. Hey, Tony, are you still with Pastor Jano? Huh? What kind of question was that? What made you ask that question? I don't get it. I don't get it. A question like that is kind of like an alert for a troll. But you could be an authentic person, just sincere about what you trying to ask. I just want to know what made you ask that question. I don't get it. I don't understand. Have you heard something or what? Because I broadcast the truth of God every day, all day. Every day, all day. You understand? So what made you ask that question? Please let me know. You know, when I broadcast the truth of God every day. Every day. Every day. Listen, not a day goes by that the truth of God is not broadcast on, you know, my platforms and whatnot. Every day. You understand? Facebook, the main platform, mainly. YouTube, every day, all day. On my other YouTube channel, Tony Harvin TV. You know, if you're not seeing certain videos and whatnot, that might be due to the shadow ban of YouTube and whatnot, because a lot of my stuff was shadow banned. With that being said, I could have had a video up for a couple of years before. It was getting some, you know, some traction, but when I happen to go look at it again, it says zero views in the past such and such times and whatnot. So a lot of them videos were shadow banned, removed, flagged. The channel was terminated. I mean, I went through a whole lot. You understand? Posting up the Truth of God message, but we still at it, man. So even having my channel terminated twice, we still moving the message. At the end of the day, we're just doing it from a different angle to go around the restrictions of YouTube here on this channel. That's the only thing. If YouTube has strict restrictions upon different words or people you can't target, like the Skittles community or the American government, you know, they don't want you to talk about certain things. And a lot of the message talked about the Skittles community. You understand? So a lot of that's what knocked my channel off, because they deemed it as cyberbullying and harassment. You understand? So I was targeted last year, big time, you know, big time. And it took a while to really get back on track. So I had no channels. Now we got 3 YouTube channels. We got 3 YouTube channels from none last year. What a blessing at the end of the day. So we banging the Truth of God, you know what I'm saying, on Tony Harvin TVs. So you can go to Tony Harvin TV. There's nothing but the Truth of God messages on there, man. There's nothing but the Truth of God messages on there, for sure, man. I try to drop a video every day, you know, a video every day on that channel, or you know, I try to push and move the links on Facebook every day, all day, when I get the time to, for sure. But we definitely, it's definitely still broadcasting every day. You understand, on the platforms of Facebook and YouTube, Tony Harvin TV, for sure. So just go to that channel, go check it out. You know, there's a lot of videos. I think I got 169 videos up so far. You know, I got a lot more in the chamber. I got a lot more videos in the chamber of the Truth of God. So check that channel out. For sure. What up, Octavius Carmichael? He says, it's Ralph, Tony. I haven't seen no videos of you posting anything of fellowship. That's why I asked. It's because of you, how I heard them. Okay, cool. So we're gonna check this out right quick. We're gonna check it out right fast, man. And I'm gonna show you right fast, just right quick, of my other channel and whatnot, you know. We're just gonna share the screen right fast. If I can get to it, you know, right fast. You know what I'm saying? So just bear with me right now. I'm gonna go to my YouTube channel for sure. All right. I'm gonna share the screen. Just bear with me. All right. So that's the YouTube channel right there, man, with the Truth of God videos. You know, I just, how long ago I started that channel up? Like, this channel may have been a different name that I had it under, because I had this channel, it was under a different name, and I had like old classic Truth of God videos on here that I needed to store because I didn't want to use no memory, but I had them unlisted or private. So this is the channel right here that I got the Truth of God videos. You understand? This is the channel right here, man. 153 videos. I said 169. My mistake. So I'm putting more on here, man, and we still pushing it more and more. So that's the YouTube channel with the Truth of God videos, for sure. You know, that's it right there. Check it out. All right. So I appreciate you for coming on here at Ralph. Let's see who else. You're welcome at Ralph for sure. You know what I mean? Mark Upin says, keep banging. God bless you too at Nicole Martin. What up, Sin Stu? You're welcome at Ralph for sure. So we're gonna sign off. I thank everybody for tuning in to this YouTube channel. We got more videos coming out on this channel, my other YouTube channels for sure. I'm Tony Harvin. I'm signing off. May you all have a blessed evening. God bless. I'm out. Peace. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Do remember, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right here and select all to receive all notifications upon the videos that come out on this channel. Also, my backup channel is Tony Harvin Network if you'd like to do the same.